Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I actually wrote a ton of notes for this one. This video I'm going to be talking about post-op week 1 through week 3. So it's going to be full liquids. I'm going to discuss full liquids, supplies needed, my experience, and yeah, so here goes. So for the full liquids diet for our program, we had 3 weeks on full liquids. So that consisted of shakes. There was a menu of approved smoothies as well. Protein shakes, fat-free, sugar-free yogurts, sugar-free pudding, and pureed thinned out soups like cream of chicken soup or cream of shrimp soup, those cream of soups. And they made those in fat-free as well. So in all of that, we're supposed to be adding unflavored protein powder. So the servings was supposed to be 2 ounces every 3 to 4 hours for eating, 2 ounces, and then choose whatever you wanted to use as your food, and then you're supposed to be adding the unflavored protein powders to it. So the recommended unflavored protein powders for us, there was 2 medical grade recommended protein powders. The one you'll probably hear about the most is called Genepro. It's 30 grams of protein powder, and it is medical grade, so it's all full 30 grams. And for that one, it is only a size about, it looks like a little baby scoop. It's the size of a tablespoon about. That's how tiny the little scoop is. So compared to these big old like scoops, you know, that was the best one because it was a little volume of unflavored protein powder. Another one that was recommended, a medical one, was called Unjury, U-N-J-U-R-Y, Unjury protein powder, and that was a medical approved one as well. That one was a little bit bigger. I did not use that one. I had samples of it, but I didn't use that one. I used the Genepro. If you're lactose intolerant, and this is important because I am lactose intolerant, and you get a lot of discomfort after because your belly's so small of eating things. So any like little bit of hints of dairy or cream would just set you off. You just be super bloated, uncomfortable. So the lactose intolerant is the Unjury, and that's 100% whey isolate unflavored. Isopure, I'm so sorry guys, Isopure is another unflavored protein powder. And then there's Plantfusion, that was 22 grams unflavored protein powder, and that was vegan. And then Nectar, and that's 100% whey protein powder, unflavored as well. So all this information I'll be giving you guys in the video, I will type it up below. I don't know if I'll be able to find all the links, but I'll type it up below so that you could search it and find it yourself. I'll try to link it in my bio on Instagram under my Amazon buys. I'll try to do that as well for you too under the protein section. Most of it already might be there, but I'll get on that for you guys. So I already discussed in the last video the weight that I actually had lost. It was almost, it's 30 pounds. For some reason it came out to 29.4, but when I did the math again, it was exactly 30 pounds lost in 3 weeks. So for week 1, I was 313.8 pounds the day of surgery. The following week was 298.8 pounds. So that was a total of 15 pounds in 7 days. The following week, week 2, was 298.8 pounds, and then the following Thursday, 291.8 pounds. That was 7 pounds lost there, so a total of 22 pounds in 2 weeks. And then from 291.8 pounds to 284.8 pounds, again, another 7 pounds lost, so a total of 30 pounds in 3 weeks. Okay, so my experience with full liquids, it's fucking miserable. It's fucking miserable. You're not hungry. I wasn't hungry. And everything tasted horrible. Even like the little protein shake that I finally figured out and figured out and could mass. So I was even able to taste the unflavored protein powder. So I was able to taste that too. It had a taste to it. So even when I figured out a little protein shake, it was like 4 ounces. Even that started to make me gag. Everything just, I like would put it in my mouth and I would try to swallow it and I just couldn't swallow it. It was like, it was definitely, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because of the taste buds changing or if because I was just tired of having to drink everything. Like, I was pretty miserable with those 3 weeks. So the 3 weeks of full liquids was really hard. I've mentioned already that I didn't have to do liquid diet before surgery, so it was definitely like I could eat whatever real food before, and then boom, full liquids. So I would do the, I avoided yogurts because of the lactose intolerant thing. I would do cream of soups. I didn't think about the lactose intolerant thing with those, but I would do the fat-free cream of potato soup, and I would strain it out with a really fine strain for any of the potato chunks, and I would add a scoop of Genepro to that. And I actually bought a beaker set, an ounce beaker set, and again, I'll link all that for you guys. Oh, I apologize, I'm in my car on lunch. Okay, so I actually bought an ounce beaker set on Amazon. and I would just take the 4 ounce one and I would measure out 2 ounces in the 4 ounce of the actual soup, and then pour it in the Genepro and then stir it, and then literally just try to like take a shot of it to get it down. So yeah, the soups, I tried the sugar-free pudding and putting the Genepro in there. I hated that. And then the shakes, I didn't have any pre-made shakes. Those all tasted really bad to me as well, and being lactose intolerant, I just couldn't find one that tasted okay to me, and also with the bloating after. So the shakes, honestly I didn't do any that were already like, you know, like a Premier shake or Quest shakes. I didn't do anything that was already pre-made. So my go-to shake was, I made it myself. It was blended, it was almond milk, some cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, and then we were allowed to have fruit, but only 2 small slices of fruit. So I would do 2 small sliced bananas. So almond milk, cinnamon, peanut butter, 1 tablespoon, all this was measured, and a 2 small slice of banana. The cinnamon I would put a lot in because it's a spice, so that didn't matter. And the Genepro. So it would literally, and I'll insert pictures for you guys, but it would literally be that much in the bottom of my Ninja bottle, and I would go ahead and do that to try to get my protein. And in the beginning, our goal was only to get to 60. So I was probably only doing 2 of those little baby shakes a day, or 1 of the shakes and then try to do 1 of the soups to try to get to 60. Every day I did not meet the 60. I can tell you, because not every day I felt like eating. I felt so sick, not nauseous, it just tasted gross to me. So I didn't do the best. So that's probably why I lost drastically the first week, 15 pounds, because I went from eating like a normal person and probably overeating because I was very, like I binged a lot, so I was super full, to not eating at all. So yeah, so that's what I did for 3 weeks, struggle bus on that. As far as the eating rule, it's, for our guidelines, it was 30, 30, 30. So if you just remember the number 30, you'll be okay. But 30 minutes, you want to stop drinking your clear liquid. So if you're sipping on water, stop that, and then 30 minutes, you start eating. And then I would literally put a timer on, and then I would sit there and try to finish my 2 ounce soup or my little shake that I make, 30 minutes. If you can't, like if you are drinking like a Premier shake, for example, we were told just to put the cap on and put it back in the fridge and try it again later. And then 30 minutes wait, and I would put a timer on again until you could start drinking your liquids, your water. So then you drink your water and you're sipping that almost every 5 to 10 minutes, little baby sips, for 2.5, 3 hours until you start the thing again, where you stop 30 minutes, that'd be by 3 hours or 3.5 hours, and then by the 3rd or 4th hour you should be eating then. And so we had like we had a guideline for that also. So remember the 30-minute rule, that was another thing to tack on, besides doing all your vitamin regimen, spacing everything out and sitting there being like, with what you're trying to eat. That's what I went through. If you do not do the 30-minute rule, you can get chest pain or even vomiting. So some people say like, see, I was scared to experience any of this stuff, so I can't say that I've experienced that, because I followed the rules. I didn't want to experience any discomfort by my own doing. So these rules, I would literally be in my handbook all the time, like, okay, am I doing this right? Yeah. All right, don't do that. Okay. Or I would email my dietitian right away, and she was pretty quick on responding back. So let's see here. I talked about the weight, talked about the rules, the different protein powders, what foods to actually have. I want to talk about the constipation. So in the beginning, your water intake, the minimum is 48 ounces. If you can get more, that's awesome. But I struggled. I still struggle now, but I struggled in the beginning to try to get the 48 ounces. So that also affects with the constipation because you're not getting your liquids in. With the constipation, we were advised to take Smooth Move, and the Smooth Move was a laxative, and that was if you went longer than 3 days without a bowel movement. You take your Smooth Move, it's a tea, you could drink it, or the Docalax, I believe it's called, that was a stool softener. So we were supposed to be taking a stool softener along with our regular vitamin regimen to keep the stool soft so that we wouldn't have any impaction or difficulties if you went too long. So I did that. I went from, it was right before I went into purees. It was November 3rd until the 7th. November 7th, I didn't have a movement, and so I was getting worried because I started Googling. You know, Google's your worst thing to ever do. I started Googling what would happen if I was impacted and it sounded horrible, you know, because it felt like I had to go, but like every time I tried to go, nothing would happen. And so I started to get scared. I was like, what if it's impacted, it's stuck up there? People said you had to go to the hospital, and like, you know, it just sounded horrible. So I panicked and I emailed my dietitian, and she told me at that point to try 100% apple juice because of the fiber, and you do a half water, half apple juice, and then with Miralax as well. And Miralax is a stool softener too. So I did that, still nothing happened, and she told me to push fluids and continue the stool softeners. Finally, the next day it happened. I started taking the probiotic. So that's when I was like, oh, she's talked about probiotics for a long time. So at that point I was like, okay, yeah, let me buy the probiotics and be on it. So that's why I tell anyone in my comment section or DM, they're like, oh, what's something I should get, or, you know, what's any advice? Probiotics. Even to this day, if I don't have a bowel movement, I'll do probiotics. I'll take a pill. If it's weekend, I'll take one pill twice a day, and it'll happen. And then it'll be continuous, not continuous like running or anything. It'll just be that I'll then have bowel movements once a day, and it'll be regular again. So probiotics is the best friend. In Activia, they make an Activia lactose intolerant, which I couldn't find, lactose free probiotic yogurt, but I like it in the supplement form, and you keep it in the refrigerator because of live bacteria. So yeah, so constipation, it does exist. Don't go too long. Email your dietitian about what you should be doing, or what I said about the apple juice, the Miralax, the Docalax, or if you take your probiotics from the beginning, you shouldn't have that issue, or any discomfort or bloating, which I had like all the time. I hated that feeling. That just helps with it all the time, which was relief. That just it felt better. So there's a list. She gave us a list, like a grocery list of what you would need. So besides everything I said in the beginning about your actual foods, so you want to do shakes or items off of the smoothie menu we had approved, your protein shakes that are already made, like Premier shakes or Quest shakes, or whichever your program says is okay. Your fat-free, sugar-free yogurt, the Oikos, is that how you say it? O-I-K-O-S. The 000, that's a good one if you're unsure. But the sugars in yogurt is not the same as like real sugars, because of the dairy and milk sugars is different than like fake sugars. So that, when you look at the number, you're gonna be like, oh, but this has too much sugar in it. It's not the same. But speak to your dietitian also about that. Like the Light and Fit is okay, and that's what I like now because they have more fun flavors. But the 000, if you want to be all the way zero safe, zero fat, zero sugar, that's a good one, and it tastes good. Yogurt, your sugar-free pudding, you box and you prepare it with whichever substitute or milk, and then you add in your protein powders to it. Make sure you have all your unflavored protein powder. Your thinned out soups, cream of soups, and they also make boxes of cream of soups in the organic section. It's called Imagine, and I'll insert a picture for you guys. So the actual items that was recommended, and then what helps. And the video is almost done, so I apologize, this one's a little bit longer. So measuring cups, I did not use measuring cups, it did not help me. I bought Beakers instead off Amazon. The Beakers, I liked it because it had listed ounces. The cups does nothing, because you're supposed to have 2-ounce meals. I didn't know what that was in cup form, you know. So the ounces, that really was nice, so I'd recommend Beakers instead. Baby spoons or fork, yeah, it's very helpful. You don't want to get that that pain in your chest they talk about from having too big of a bite and swallowing and not realizing. The little baby spoons help me with my portion control, and then I would sit down and time the 20 seconds before I would try to for another bite. Small 6, 8 to 8 inch plates. I never used them. I bought all this stuff and I never even used it yet. Now it's more appropriate, and like I said, I'm 7.5 months out, so now it would be appropriate. But you know, you're doing liquids at that time, so I didn't need that. 2-ounce Tupperware containers, yes, that was very helpful for when I meal prep the puddings or the yogurt, and you put your little protein powder in it. It's more effective in the pureed stage because you're actually blending up a food, so that I would say more towards pureed, but yes, it's good to have. A food processor or blender, definitely yes, because you need to, in full liquids, get it to liquid form. Well, you should only be having liquids, and then the pureed form, you have to make sure it's that consistency in pureed stage. So yes, food processor or blender. Smooth Move, yes, definitely recommend. That's the stool softener and laxative. The heating pad, I never used one. I didn't need it, but that's what's recommended. Gas X chews, yes, definitely recommend the Gas X chews. I chewed on those probably more than I should have, more than the recommended dosage, because like I said, I always felt that bloating feeling, but the probiotics would help with that. But Gas X for sure. Probiotic, yes. And a Camelback water bottle. No, a Camelback water bottle is a special sports bottle with a straw in it that when you drink out of it, you suck through. It leaves no air, so you won't get any air in your new belly. Honestly, drinking from a water bottle, I had no issues with any excess air. So the Camelback, I feel like that was a waste, and it was $40. So that's the list. I'll write the list down in the comment section below, and I'll add the products, like I said, to my link, my Amazon link on Instagram, and everything we talked about I'll put in the comments below so you guys can just read through if it's easier for you. But any more questions? The next video is going to be pureed stage, which was 4 to 6 weeks, week 4 to week 6, so 2 weeks of pureed, and that is going to be interesting because it was during Thanksgiving, so I'll be talking about that experience for you guys as well. Alright guys, I hope you have a good day, and any questions or comments, or you want to chat about your journey also related, or what did you use, let me know. Have a good day.